game called Fighters of Europe from Capsicum Games and Don't Panic Games and Don't Games. They're a partnership. This game is the second game in a series, the Fighters of series. The first game was Pacific War. We got that about two and a half years ago. Played it. It was phenomenal. Because of that, I went ahead and backed this Fighters of Europe campaign because this now takes the same system from the Pacific to the Western European theater of World War II. As you can see here on the front, you've got great graphics, and that's one of the attractions to the game. Just the production is amazing and the beauty of the components. But you have a bunch of German fighters and bombers in the sky, and then here you can see a couple of Spitfires. This game focuses on the Battle of Britain as well as just Western Europe in general, over France, etc., and does have 2 expansions here that were add-ons that I went ahead and got. Just gives you more units, more aircraft, and then some additional scenarios. These games are dual lingo. I think they're both in French and in English. So when we open it up, you're going to see rule books that are in both. So I'm going to move the Kickstarter stretch goals, the promos, and the expansion to the side. We're going to go ahead and jump right in to the main box. So here you can see how the game's laid up. The game has their geomorphic boards, so you can create a whole bunch of different types of boards. And then it is a miniature style game that doesn't use miniatures. It uses little aircraft counters with some administrative counters. Like you can see, this is a damage counter. But here's the contents of this base game box. And I want to say this is like a $50 game. So it's very, very affordable and very, very well done. The game does do 1 to 4 players. There are rules that allow that. And the designers are Frank Garibaldi. I did an interview with him on Pacific, Fighters of the Pacific. Didn't get around to doing that for Europe, but I wish that I had. But there you can see Don't Panic Games and Capsicum. That's I think a partnership. So let's go ahead and open the box. Put that up there. This thing is jam-packed, and I think that was the other thing that was very, very impressive to me. Here's just a promotional flyer talking about the 2 games in the series. I'm going to go ahead and recycle that. There is a solo mode. So there's a fully functioning solo mode, and there was a fully functioning solo mode in the Pacific version. Very simple. You just follow it. This game is a lot about bluffing, passing, and then moving. Because it's diceless combat, you've literally got to be very cognizant of your position and its relation to your enemies. Because if they get behind you, they're going to fire and destroy you. So here's some other parts of that solo mode. The automaton behavior or bot behavior. So haven't really looked at that. Not exactly sure how that's going to work. This is called the Command Training Manual. I think it's just an overview of the setup and the system itself. Yeah, pretty, just kind of has a sequence of play and teaches you very quickly the rules of the game. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention, the aircraft have cards that have different information on them, like their speed, special traits that they have, and then armor. And it also shows you their fields of fire. You can see those red boxes. So when you move, if there's ever an enemy unit in one of those adjacent boxes, you can fire and do a certain amount of damage. So that's the field manual. Here are the scenarios. So you can see the rules. I mean, it's like 8 pages, right? 2, 4, 6. It's like 7 pages of rules, and one of those is the setup. Not an overly complex game, but sometimes complexity just leads to heartache and difficulty in playing a game. So here are some of the scenarios. This is specifically the Battle of Britain. Here, I'm gonna open it up and just kind of show you. So here's scenario number 2, Escort. There's some dossiers, some historical flavor. And then there's the setup of the board. Well, maybe it's like this. And it says in Southeast England. You can see you have a flotilla, or a flight group of Luftwaffe bombers, probably Heinkels. Actually, maybe those are Messerschmitts. And then this looks like a Heinkel coming in. But very simple. You've got turns, you've got the different units, you've got the turn sequence listed there. Very easy game to play, nothing overly complex. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out the board, and you will notice that these are puzzle shaped or puzzle like. Let's see if I can actually get the bag open. I might have to rip it. Yeah, it's made to be ripped. But these are hard mounted boards. I'll throw that on the ground. And you can see they have puzzle piece shapes that allow them to fit together. They have a number on them. This one is D2. This one's C1. You can see it does have some coastline on it, but then these are literally just open field. I'm going to go ahead and just throw a couple together here to demonstrate how this works. Well, that may not work really well together. Well, once again, it's going to tell you which maps to use. Don't rely on my stupidity. Actually, that one looks like it fits. So you can see they fit together to create the actual playing surface. There are some that have male ends and some that have female ends. That's not... trying to actually get a plausible board here. And looks like I'm maybe not going to be able to do it real quick. But anyway, the setup is not difficult. It will run you through, and those don't match. Well, I'm striking out here, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, that's the way the board works. I'm not going to embarrass myself any further. I will just lay those out. They're really great. Nothing fancy. You can see there are clouds shown, which will offer some cover as you are dogfighting. Very important part of the game. You have a gaggle of bags to hold the different units. Here are the unit cards. I'm going to try to open these up without ripping them. Here we go. These are really well sealed. It's hard to get. I can't really get the thing open. Well, I feel like if I could get, there we go. I found the edge. Never give up. Don't ever give up. All right, so here are unit cards. Once again, these are dual lingo. Here you have BF-109s, Heinkels, and JU-88s. You can see their different statistics. There is kind of a player aid. There is a turn track here. Very simple. Another player aid, so you get 2 of those. And then these are kind of victory point boxes, for lack of a better word, for planes that are shot down. Here are Spitfires and Hurricanes being shown there. Here is a sequence of play, turn sequence. And then here's the British victory. All right, now to the good part, the actual counters and the units. A really nice touch. You can see the inside of the box has a map there of southern England and northwestern Europe, France. Kind of cool. Let's go ahead and open the counters. So once again, miniature style game that uses little cardboard counters. They are double-sided. So when you're in the clouds, you use this one. When you're not in the clouds, you use that one. But you can see there's a whole bunch, Heinkel's, Ju-88s, Hurricanes and Spitfires, Messerschmitt, BF-109s. Here are some bomb counters. Actually, they look like torpedoes, but I think they're bombs. I don't think they use torpedoes in the European battles. Here's some of those damage markers. Very cool. There's a couple different sizes. Obviously, these bigger ones are for bombers. Look at that. So you're going to place that there, and that denotes that, hey, this bomber's been hit twice. Look at that. Look how cool that is. Smoke coming off. And then you've got single ones that are going to be used for the fighters themselves. I'll just put that there. So yeah, that's a really neat part of the game. Very well done. Just more counters. More counters. These are virtually identical, those 3 sheets. Then you have some terrain overlay tiles. These are bases. These are going to be your hard targets that you're going to place on the generally featureless board to identify, oh, I'm trying to bomb this installation or this base or what have you. Here you have a whole bunch of counters. These are flak counters. These are going to be placed out on the board, and when you fly into them, you're going to have a chance to I think you're going to take a hit. This is the initiative marker. Initiative in this game is very important. It allows you to move first if you want to, or it allows you to pass first and cause your enemy to move. These are targeting markers used in various parts of the rules, different elements. These are going to be your static AA guns. These look like they are formations, maybe guarding bombers, that kind of thing. There's a counter that says offensive and defensive. You can choose to fly in a certain way and get little extra movements. So that is the contents of the base game box. I'm going to go ahead and show you a couple of the extra pieces. Because I backed the game literally on the first day, I got this initiative token, which will replace this with a huge metal coin. You can see it says Fighters of Europe Early Bird Pledge Reward. So I'm going to replace that counter with that very cool metal counter. These are storage boxes, probably for the different units. These are just, so here's the French Air Force. These are the Italian Air Force, the Luftwaffe, the RAF. You have the United States Air Force. This is just a generic Fighters of Europe box, probably for the different counters. And then they include Japanese ones. So these are going to go back into my Fighters of the Pacific game. And then there you have the U.S. Navy. So these are storage boxes. Very nice little touch. All right, let's go ahead and look at the extra contents boxes. I hope this all fits back in the same big box. So this one is the stretch goals. Let's see what we've got. I'm going to dump it all out. Holy crap. There's a ton. And the cards came loose here. Let me go ahead and gather up all of those cards. So these are different aircraft cards. So this was one of the expansions. Here you have a Spitfire, you have a Mosquito, a 303 Squadron, Defiant, a Typhoon, BF-109. You have some more Heinkels, Ju-88s, Dornier, Focke-Wulf, V-1 Rocket you have a Mustang, you have a B-17, a B-24, a P-47 Thunderbolt, you have a Red Tail, that's cool, P-38 Lightning, a D-520, an MS-406. You just have a bunch of extra aircraft, and with those come a bunch of extra counters. So that's what this bag here is, just more counters. You can see bigger bombers, smaller bombers. You got the Mosquitoes there. You also have some different tiles for the board itself. Not going to necessarily open those up. They do have this cool little pre-folded box to put those cards in, I believe. And then here are the additional scenarios. I'm going to put the French language book. But you can see there's a ton of different scenarios included in this expansion. There are 15 in this book, and I think the base one had like 10. So chock full of stuff. I'll probably never play all of it. But I'm going to say this system is amazing, and you're going to want to play all of it. So this is the Defense of the Reich and the Battle of France expansion. I'm going to dump this out very similarly to what I just did. You have a bunch of bags. Boy, I'm going to have to organize this. But here you go. You have Battle of France scenario booklet. You have Defense of the Reich scenario booklet. Got additional scenarios. Holy crap. And then you just have a bunch of other stuff. I am going to look at these cards because I want to see what French aircraft they have. If they have any at all. Yeah, these are the French aircraft here. I already showed you a couple of those. But these are just more aircraft data cards. Yeah, so there you have it. Boy, I'm tired. That was a lot. So this is Fighters of Europe from Capsicum Don't Panic Games. And I'm going to be honest, this is so much content and such a huge value. I'm so very glad that I backed this. We're definitely going to give this a play. We're definitely going to get into it. And we will share our thoughts on the game with you when we do. But a high quality production, very unique mechanisms. Love the diceless combat and the maneuver. And very excited about this game. So I thank you so much for watching. I've been Grant.